Hello! Welcome back to the Walking Street of New York as a vampire. And today we're on the 6th night. Let's see where he's gonna lead us. Walking down the street towards heaven. Some out of town, the sidewalk will be deserted this time of the night. In New York, there are plenty passerby going to their business. This is too paranoid when you are vampires surrounded by a crowd of humans. The Kingdom have many enemies, and all those enemies have one trait in common. They are invisible, indistinguishable from the normal humanity. Are the vampires, hunters, or look alike? Is that old man just a tired restaurant worker, or a kindred that trawling your movements? Our office is either waiting on a patrol car, ordinary cops, or Second Inquisition specialists looking to end undead threats. This kind of thinking leads to madness, but you cannot shake the feeling that someone is watching you. It's not the first time you felt like this. It's likely to be. Whatever that is probably something you have to take care of. Best case someone is telling you, worst case you'll be attacked and killed. Unfortunately, beyond that has its limitation. The sun is coming up soon. You'll be burned to a crisp, you stay on the street. You reach heaven, settle for the day, disconcerted by the idea that someone might know where you sleep. Okay, that's it. Wallism. As away from the slumber you emerge from your heaven for the night, you notice a familiar face on the other side of the street, standing on the corner and looking straight at you. Sophia? It's Kai's lackey whom you meet recently, Jackie. He nods at you, encouraging you to approach. His hands are outside his pocket and he seems pretty relaxed. He's keeping his eyes on the street though, as if he's making sure you are alone. He smiles awkwardly when you approach. Evening? Got something for you from our mutual friend? He produces a crumbled piece of paper from his jacket pocket and hands it to you. Read it, memorize it, and then give it back here. Memorize it? It's a letter. The paper might be just a page ripped out of a spiral notebook, but the writing on it is squishily detailed and deliberated. It reads, Time Square your debt with me. Go to the wine shop at the 232 Mulberry ST and ask for the 1821 Special Reserve Donatello near Gromaro. When they tell you they don't have it, say you are a Fedele Servitore della Famiglia G. Those exact fucking words and make sure get the G right. How do you pronounce this? You'll get a bottle, just take it and leave by saying grazie. Don't ask how much it is or anything else, just walk out when you have it, come back to Jackie boy here and let me know. You don't memorize that shit and hand it over. What's with all this cloak and dagger nonsense? Didn't you? What's he just going with that? That's how the boss likes and who I am to argue. Just what he says and what about done with the letter. Okay. You know the phrase and the address mentioned in the letter and handed it back to Jackie. He immediately reaches for the lighter and burns the letter, putting out the ashes with his boot. I mean, he's like, okay, seems a little bit extravagant. So yeah, when you do that, the boss asks, come back here so I can tell you where to go next. I'll be in that alley over there, so find me when you have the item, whatever it is. I don't know, and the boss made it extra clear that you shouldn't care, so I don't see ya. He shuffles away and leaves you to pursue the lead from the letter. Time to pay visit to Nolita. You arrive at the address mentioned at the note, not counting local restaurant patrons. The street is mostly empty at this time of night, but curiously the wine shop is still open. Inside, a small middle-aged woman with curly hair hands behind the counter, in front of a wall filled with the wine bottles. There's a door at the back of the room with a small table and chair occupied by a man in a black fox-loader jacket with a sleek, combed back hair. There's a reading newspaper but pauses a little by ringing. You open the door, he takes a sip from a small steaming cup, then gets back to his Brujah. Proprietor, good evening, how can I help you? I have a bottle. Negromaro, please. Okay. Let me check our stock. Seems to be looking through our database on the laptop. Sitting on the counter, she puts on a polite smile. Afraid we don't have that one at the moment, sorry. Recited straight and simple. And for the Servitore della Famiglia G. In that case, let me see if we have any in the back. Wait here, please. The woman leaves the counter and goes through the doors in the back. The man by the table puts down his newspaper and takes another sip from the cup, washing it down with a gulp of water from the nearby glass. He tries to hide it, but there is no doubt he's watching you. About a minute pass, shut the guy up and remain silent and wait. You remind yourself that Case wrote in the letter and keep quiet, patiently waiting for the woman to return from the back of the store. The man finishes his drink and starts dawdling on the newspaper, his eyes there darting to you every so often. The doors to the back of the store open. The proprietor emerges with a small unlabeled squat bottle of crimson. She gives you an unapologetic smile. Scusi, sorry for taking so long, that's all. We did have it. Okay, she offers the bottle and you reach out to grab it, but she retracts it. You do know what it is, don't you? Why, it's wine, of course. I'll be taking these, thank you. You focus your blood and immediately see both of the people in the shop focusing intently on you and what you're about to say. I know exactly what it is and I'm the right person to give it to. The one gives you the bottle without hesitation. Grazie. The sign that you push your luck far enough, you nod the exit to the store, then take the brisk walk to your car. Nobody follows you as you leave Nolita and drive back to your apartment. It takes you some time to find a parking spot, but you finally get out of the car, starting looking for Jackie. He's not far from where you parted away just under 2 hours ago. I think it's blood. Or some sort of blood. Good. I do, but it was a hassle. Any idea what it is? Any idea what it is? You show him the bottle. Any idea what it is? He looks away and puts up his hands. Hey, put that back. I told you before. I don't know what the boss wanted you to retrieve and I don't want to know. Let him know you got it. We're here. He takes a few more steps in a narrow space between two buildings and takes out the same high-tech phone you saw in Camilla's time. Hey boss? Yeah, they have it. Where do I point them to? Okay, yeah, tell them to go there right away. He puts the phone back in his pocket and turns back to you. Okay, Jesus Christ, half an hour, you better step on it, see you around a let's point. With only a fly plan salute, Jackie style walking down the street, you make your way back to the car and drive. Okay. I had to push the speed limit to make it on time, but you are here. Willets Point is quite a change of scenery. The place is post-industrial dump, the nearby stadium notwithstanding. You stop your car once you realize that if you go any further down, the puddles will kill your chassis. You step out in one of those gashes and the spot splashes down with deep water. Kaiser Lima is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the whole place is pretty much deserted, other than the apparent proprietor of a lonely bar, a middle-aged woman who's just locking the place up. Should I? Okay. This is too perfect an opportunity to not take advantage of. She is walking to her car, ready to call it a night. You sneak up on her, she's far too tired to resist your stronghold and sweep the bite. You taste the caffeine in her veins, smell the cheap cigarettes in her hair, and all cooking grease and clothes. She passes out. You assault the closing note of a long day at work. You let her go down gently and feel a pang of remorse. You pick up the car keys, she drops the place in the driver's seat. She will find an explanation for passing out like this, for sure. The bright lights of a car pulling over down the road illuminate you as you close the door. It's a black limo. Kaiser is finally here, it will seem. So last time the car doors open, but nobody comes out. You'll know the drill. This time Kaiser is visible when you look inside. You sit down and close the door behind you. So you pull it off without a hitch, then give it a year. You hand the bottle over to Nosferatu. He uncorks it gently, takes a whiff and puts the cork back in. Yeah, that's the stuff. I can see you're useful beyond your charm with the subtlety of a buttering ram to know. Hail Langley, precious address. He passes you an envelope with what feels like a thick card inside. Now we are even. I think you still owe me a bonus. Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Yeah, I'll send Jakey over if I ever need anything else from you. How about that? Time to go for you to get out now. He waves you out of the car with the envelope in hand. You get out back on the torn asphalt. In the crypt surroundings, the limo slowly drives away. Finally, you can return to Sophia and bring her what she wanted. Clarity lets you in. You hear a shrill, unpleasant laugh, and you realize Sophie having a guest over. He is the man from Elysium, the one with the glasses and good tasting suits. You didn't have the chance to talk to him last time you saw him. Oh, Andorea, so glad to see you. Tell me, did the two of you previously met? The man doesn't wait for an answer. He approaches you with an energetic, almost dance-like step and put out his hand. No. Well, fancy, even blue thingy. The Master Turo, I've heard about you. Pleasure. Tom is a great source of gossip and excellent conversationalist. I also have the Prince's ear, which is the primary reason dear Miss Langley wished to speak to me tonight. Good gossip, even coming from me, isn't nearly as valid. Sad. Sophie is taken aback by the man's direct comment, but smiles politely. The awkward atmosphere is broken again by the guest's grunting laugh. I kid, of course, I kid. Well, I was about to leave anyway, so I'll leave you to it. Good night, Sophie, Andorea, and Greggy boy. Greggy boy. Several drivers open the door for Arturo, and the guest steps out with a single wave and hands towards his host, and the doors close. What a creep. Well, he's quite a character, isn't he? Yes, quite, but he has his use. Thomas has clouding court and access to many juicy details. On everyone from the prince to the lowliest primogen, it's useful to have him on your side, even if his eccentricity requires some patience. Speaking of patience, you have been putting mine to the test lately. You managed to contact Kai's and inquire what I asked for. Yes, but I thought I don't have it. Sorry for the wait. I appreciate some gratitude. Yes, but I had to do another job for him first. Yes, I have it, but that other offer was all news to him. I had to do another job for him before he would give me this card. He tries the envelope from you. I'm sure he did. I do hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience. I had to retrieve a bottle for him. He made me go to an entirely separate escapade to retrieve a bottle of wine from a store in Nolita. I had to use a code phrase and whatnot. A wine shop, code phraser? That degenerate pest. She visibly agitated but calms down and smiles at you. Don't worry about it. Make sure that whatever Kaiser had you do, it will blow over. I sure hope so. I mean, Jesus Christ, I just got a bottle. What's in the fucking bottle? She opens the envelope and looks at the card. You notice the same letter you saw on Kaiser know from before, but cannot see the details. Her eyes widen. Yes, excellent. I need to call in some favors. I will likely be busy for the next few nights. I have my permission to show some initiative, my dear Charge. I will contact you soon. With that, Sophie ushers you outside and you are left to do with the rest of the night. Hours as you like. Yeah! Freedom! Okay, that's horrifying. This is horrifying. Mi abuela. Abuela! Okay, let's help Agatha. One of these nights, I'll have to buy something. You reflect as you ring the doorbell of the cool bookstore. The search is Agathon Heaven. Perhaps something about auras of the tarot? Oh, really? Hours of the Tarot? The same sleep-deprived blonde woman you saw on your first visit opened the door for you. Each kindred has their own servants, and Agathon seems to go for the tired Wiccan mom type. Wiccan mom? Oh, it's you, come in. Wiccan mom? Okay. The woman disappears into the back room even as you close the door behind you. Lacking any better direction, you make your way up the stairs. At first you thought the chanting was part of the ritual soundtrack that plays in the shop, even at night. As you reach the second floor, you realize it's Agathon's voice. You come up just in time to see him standing in the middle of his ritual paraphernalia, with his wrist cut open over a wrought iron stand holding a blood-red stone. Okay! Great! As Agathon chants, blood drips from the wound in his streets onto the stone. It looks like it's absorbed into it. It's probably not a good idea to interrupt a blood ritual, so you wait in silence as Agathon finishes. A few minutes later, he opens his eyes and smiles ruefully. I've done so many of these rituals, I hope it's not too off-putting for you. I've seen worst. Agathon smears a bit of his own blood over the wound, and you see it close. It looks like he does it so often, he barely pays attention to it anymore. It's icky. Aren't vampires supposed to be into blood? But all vampires were blood fetishists. Unavoidably, we don't all advertise it though. Agathon picks up the blood red stone from its stand. This is a bloodstone, could be useful. He doesn't seem inclined to elaborate. Anyway, let's go. Okay, let's find these bloody papers. He pockets the stone and leads you back down to the stairs outside his car, so you're on your way to Queens. On Flashing Meadows? Corona Park? You already went there? After parking the car, you follow Agathon and foot. He leads you deeper into the park. Coming to the New York Park in the middle of the night might have worried you when you were alive, but now it's normal. If someone tries to mark you, it just means you have an opportunity to feed. Agathon walks the purpose and he knows exactly where to go. You see, on his sphere, a giant metal sculpture of the earth lit up so park goers can appreciate it at night. Okay. You are not sure how Agathon picks his ritual spot, but he must have a purpose in mind. The sculpture standing in the background, giving his preparation added dramatic weight. Stand and watch while I perform a ritual. I reveal whether the notes we seek are here. I'll lose control of the incantation if you fail to keep me free of distraction. It doesn't look like there are many people around. Settled it for a boring half an hour while Agathon mumbles and makes strange gesture, spilling drops of his blood at regular intervals. From the outside, the ritual is not particularly flashy. Agathon repeats a mantra under his breath and walks his measured steps until he stops and turns around, walking back. It looks like if there is an invisible structure he must follow, unseen patterns and limits governing his movements. As choreographies goes, it doesn't look particularly difficult to learn, but you suspect there are hidden dimensions of skill and understanding involved. A lone drunken woman walks towards you, hard to say what she's doing at the park. She's a little older, white, dressed like a suburban divorcee. What's your friend doing? He's kinda hot. The woman's words are slurred by alcohol, but she seems to have decided that you are this evening entertainment. Hey you, stop being weird and talk to me. The woman seems determined to walk past you toward Agathon. This looks like just the kind of interruption that he was worried about. Taking the opportunity, thinking, hey stop, just drink it. Agathon is deeply immersed in his ritual, so why not use this time to have constructively? You walk to the woman from behind and grab her by shoulder and sink your fangs in her throat, gloating with alcohol and horniness flowing to horniness flows into your mouth as the woman moves the sudden pleasure of the kiss. I need to sit down. Yes, you need. Just you lick the wound close, the woman collapses onto the ground, swaying, trying to sit upright. Suddenly you hear a scream of rage, startling you to turn around just in time to see Agathon running at the woman on the ground, his expression contorted with hatred. Did the woman make enough noise to interfere with the ritual? That doesn't explain why he's such a rage. Intervene? You step between Agathon and the woman to lift your hands up in attempt to calm him down. What are you doing? This is not you, Agathon. Agathon looks at you with a wild eye. For a second, you're sure he'll attack you, seem tensing for a punch. Suddenly he snaps out of it, shaking his head, looking at the terrified drunken woman in disgust and embarrassment. Thank you. I'm so sorry you had to see that. I don't usually lose control. Sorry to break your ritual. You look worried. What was that outburst? I know, what was that outburst? It wasn't that woman. It was just a coincidence. Something triggered a word. We have to go now. Agathon starts running towards his car and you do your best to follow. Usually Agathon drives more carefully than most humans. Okay. Usually Agathon drives more carefully than most humans, but but now something's different. He's speeding, honking at every car that gets in your way. You're driving towards the Bronx and twice Agathon almost collides with another car. He's clearly not used to driving quickly, but something's overriding his usual caution. You screech to a stop in front of the red tire in an apartment building. Agathon jumps out of the car and starts running, leaving you to take the keys from the ignition and close the door. Agathon disappears up the stairs and you follow his agitated shouting. Abuela, it's me, Yavi! You get to the 5th floor, landing after a run that would have left your mortal self winded to find Agathon banging on an apartment door and fiddling with the keyring. A few of the neighbors poke their heads out in the hallway, but nobody intervenes. Agathon finds the right key and slams the door open, running inside. You follow it, entering what it looks like a home of an old Mexican lady. There are portraits of the mantelpiece and a crucifix on the wall. Crucifix? The body smells musty with old age. You detect a faint odor of vampiric blood. Sylvia, where are you? Come to the living room, find a body covered by the blanket in the corner of a sofa. The television is on, but the sound is off. Looks like a Spanish language channel. Agathon tears the blanket and pulling it away in a panic. He feels an old woman waking up, blurry-eyed confusion. Chai, what are you barging in like this? Who's your friend? You're alive, Abuela. Agathon hugs the old lady and then turns to you. You have to introduce yourself. I'll check the words something triggered them, and I'll have to see if they still work. Okay. Sylvia snuggles deeper into her blankets. This is our vampire business, isn't it? Always when there is a trouble, it's the vampires. You stare at her startled. Clearly the masquerade hasn't held in this household. Turn into a joke. Play down the trouble, be honest. Stare at her startled. Yeah, exactly. Frankenstein is not far behind anyway. I'm Andorea. You must be his grandmother. Frankenstein is not real. He's made up by those people in Hollywood. This is about a girl who came to visit. I can tell Yavi was never good at keeping secrets, so much like his mother. You hear Agathon rummaging around the small apartment, almost as if he's scratching at something on the walls. He's always doing that, writing on the walls with blood, making runes, telling me to cover them with the photos and the paintings, but he won't listen. I have to do it myself. That explains the faint smell of vampiric blood in the apartment. Otherwise, you can invite our friends for tea. They'll ask questions if I have the runes all over my walls. Doesn't look like a Christian home anymore. What did I go once while she was here? She came to talk to me and leave a message. I may be old, but I can still have a social life, can I? She was a vampire too, I expect. Are you a vampire? You're not a vampire too, are you? Surprised by the suggestion, Sylvia laughs up uproariously, mirth convulsing her aged frame. Oh no, please don't say things like that. I'm an old woman. Laughing hurts. Agathon returns to the living room, still agitated. She wanted to send a message. If we don't let her find the note first, She heard of my Buduela. He glanced meaningfully at the old woman. No, she won't. She gave me a message for you, Javi. She said to think very carefully whether your clan will really protect your loved ones. Agathon stares at Sylvia, stunned and confused. She was here to tell me that. Maybe that's good. It doesn't sound like she wants to hurt you. She was a nice girl, I can tell. It was Yuna? It was really Yuna? Oh, well, Andorea, let's go. This is all we can do here. You say your goodbyes as soon as you're back outside, sitting in Agathon's car. What a catastrophe. I think Yuna was there. The wards triggered when a vampire entered the perimeter, so Yuna was there just as I was doing the ritual in the park. I'll take you to the heaven. Oh, so it got triggered by that. Agathon starts the car and begins to drive towards Manhattan. He appears agitated, emotion cursing under his stoic face. Your grandmother is a very spirited woman. She's all I have left of my family. We came here from Mexico City when my parents were still alive. The kingdom have always haunted my family. Every generation has its own tragedies. Agathon is gripping the steering wheel harder than he should, although he's back on his usual careful driving style. Masquerade Bridge is bad. I'm sorry that this happened. Juno might still have feelings for you. A Masquerade Bridge is bad. Katia and the rest of the Camarilla won't be too happy to hear of a mortal who knows all about us. Who's going to tell them? You? He continues speaking without giving you time to reply. You're surprised what kind of things the Camarilla stalwarts get up when no one is watching. Okay. Agathon drops you off in front of your heaven. The experience leaves you with disquieting thoughts. You meet Agathon's grandmother under awkward circumstances, but clearly loves her very much. You don't know enough about the world of the kindred to say whether that's normal or not. It seems to keep Agathon connected to the world in a way that feels alien for some of the other kindred you met. Perhaps there is a lesson in that. It is tomorrow already. Anyway, wow. Well, we're going quickly on this one. Oh, why there's so many people now? Well, I guess. Okay, I kinda wanna just help him. You're in your heaven when someone knocks on your front door, puzzle, you open it. Agathon stands the hallway expectantly. I've hit the 10 seconds it took for you to come to the door was impossible in position. You need my help? You need my help? Let me guess, you're going to hunt for the research notes and you need my help. Yes, exactly, let's go. Let's go. You follow Agathon down the street, wondering what kind of revelation tonight will hold. So far, Agathon ritual haven't been successful at locating the research notes. You learn a lot about Tremor and Agathon himself. This time I got it. The problem is, when an old vampire disappears, even from our clan, we are so secretive that it's hard for us to find out what they were up to. I guess. Agathon's car is parked to the curb, you get in the stars and drive. I have a guess that the notes we are looking for belongs to an old member of our house. The problem is that we need them to continue her research. Yeah, why does Juno need the notes? What does Juno wants to do with these notes? Is she going into research? Agathon looks at you uncertainly before returning his eyes to the road ahead. I don't know, but I can guess. You wait for him to continue, but he doesn't seem inclined to do so. You're getting used to sitting Agathon's car in silence. He drives, you look out the window, back to Queens. Eventually you roll up into the industrial area called Willets Point. Doesn't really look like a place where his blood sorcerer will hang out. Agathon parks in front of the car repair shop. Doesn't look like there's been better days. There are huge puddles of water on the road and car wrecks strewn about. Wait, we're already bang here. Better be quick if I can find this place, so can Juno. You look around to see if someone is observing you, but doesn't seem to be any people about. And why would there be? Who will hang out on a place like this at night? Agathon tries in front of the door, repair shop, then sneak around the back. You follow. You suppose someone else has already broke in, and they didn't want to leave the obvious point of entry. That is worrisome. You and Agathon climb inside through the window. It's awkward, but not difficult. Looking around, you realize the repair shop has been abandoned for some time. It looks like homeless people have stayed here in the past, but nobody currently is squatting on the premise. You try a light switch, but nothing happens. You know the drill. I'll do the reach on the office, make sure no one interrupts me. Agathon makes his way to the repair shop. It's a slightly cleaner area than the rest of the building. He begins the ritual in the dark, standing guard patiently. You lean against the green wall. Agathon removes strange blah blah blah, blah blah blah, magic, blah blah blah. You wait patiently and he permits the ritual. It feels like it's taking longer than usual, giving your time to scan the room. Field lights filter from the outside, but it's still pretty dark. A ratty sleeping bag lies on the floor. You wonder what a warlock might have wanted in a place like this. There's a small TV on the desk, probably from the 90s. Looking closer, you realize there's a post-it note on the middle of the TV screen. You take it. Post-it. It reads, "Loser, you know." Agathon stopped gesturing. They are not here. How is that possible? You show him the posting note, he takes it and looks over as if suspecting my hide a devil's trick. Fuck! She has the notes. She had to gloat. You have to go. Feels like you spent a lot of time recently hurrying after Agathon as he walks briskly in and out of the building and to his car. He starts the car as you close the door. You have to go to her heaven and get the notes. There's no time to waste. Despite the urgency of his words, Agathon drives as carefully as ever. It seems that only a threat to his grandmother is enough to make him drive recklessly. How do we find her? Oh, she must be hiding, yeah? We used to date, I know where her heaven is. You actually believe she's gonna hide where she lives? Juno's heaven is in Brooklyn in a waterfront warehouse. Agathon drives south Brooklyn is as one of the advantages of being undead. Moving at night, traffic's much lighter than if you wanted to zoom around the five boroughs during rush hour. Parking the car, Agathon points to the light coming from the otherwise dark yellow brick house. That's her, let's go in. Yeah, go around the way. Okay. That was scary. You find a rusty metal door with no windows in the very end of the building, some kind of emergency exit. You get it open with a little difficulty, entering the building with Agathon. You emerge into the light-proof room section of one side by the cheap plywood wall. There's a flimsy looking door and probably leads to the main warehouse area. You stop to listen. You hear two voices, but they're hard to make out. One is Junior and the other sounds like it comes from underwater with strange resonance. You do your best to make out what they are saying, but you understand only bits and pieces. Is it possible for me to bring another? Yes. We are too powerful. Enough waiting. Agathon tries to break down the door by ramming into it with his shoulder. As flames him breaks with surprisingly little effort. You and Agathon barge into the space and find yourself in a periphery of a candle-lit ritual circle. Your eyes are drawn to the wash basin at Juno's feet. It makes your imagination, but it almost feels like the water inside is emitting a warm red light on its own. Juno, you have to stop, hands beat the notes! Oh, Agathon, you're such an idiot. She's beyond you now. I'll give you one last chance. Come with me. Forget Isle and her power games. Join me and you can become your own man. What? Agathon seems genuinely flabbergasted at the suggestion. Who's your contact, Juno? Who are you talking to? Juno smiles at you. That's a good question. I guess Island's Sturbridge doesn't go around trumpeting the fact that the old hierarchy doesn't hold a monopoly of the tremor power anymore. There's another force out there and I'll join them. Okay, worrisome. Juno picks up an bulging old folder from a chair inside the ritual circle. If this dumbass has any brains, he will join me. No, and not for the clan, but for my family! My real family! Juno seeks, he doesn't look surprised as Agathon refuses to come with her. I would have felt bad if I hadn't offered you the chance. Come back to the chantry with me, Juno. Talk to Eileen. You'll see that this is not a good idea. You glance at Agathon with concern. You are no sorcerer, but fighting Juno in the middle of her ritual circle doesn't seem like a good idea. What? For me, it seems like a very good idea. 2 words. Fuck you. Celerity. Grab the notes from Juno. Tell Job's present, please give us the notes. Just give us the notes, we won't stop you from leaving. Juno's shoulders lumps. I'm tired of the fight, I'm tired of having to bust my ass for some asshole like Eileen. I want new life away from all this crap. Juno weighs the folder in her hand. Maybe I should just give this to you. She walks towards you and you put your hand on the folder, but by then Juno's eye brightens with realization. Fucker, you're manipulating me. She slaps your face and you feel as if your insides have suddenly caught fire. You open your mouth but no sound comes out. Finally you focus on the feeling of Agathon's hand on your shoulders and you realize you lie sprawled on the floor. Are you alright? Can you speak? The pain is receding, but you feel like shit, hurting all over and barely able to walk. It will take a lot of blood to mend from this state. Agathon supports you as you walk back. He's smiling. You notice the folder under his arm. She got away but have the notes. I'm sorry you got hurt, but it was worth it. Worth it? You tell him a thing or two about your view of the situation. Worth it? I'm like on the floor bleeding. It's like, worth it? Are you sure about that, Agathon? But your tongue is momentarily lump of chalk on your mouth. You see in the silence Agathon drives you back to Manhattan. Traffic at a small hour is mercifully slight. You consider your next words. Did she join the tribal rebel? Is there even such a thing? There is. I was informed by a woman called Kana. We used to be pretty monolithic, but not anymore. Suppose Juno will be happy with them if they accept her now that she's failed. Ugh. You reach the occult bookstore after Agathon parks the car. You head inside, you climb to the second floor to find Eileen Stallbridge waiting for you. She looks surprisingly casual for someone with such power. You have good news, I hope? Yes, we have the notes. Agathon hands over the folder. Eileen Stallbridge, KRS, took over with obvious joy. Wonderful! You did not disappoint. What of Juno? You were not able to stop her, she escaped. Well, no matter, Agathon, you prove yourself yet again. Andorea looks like the pyramid has a good friend in you. The pyramid? Oh, it's the hierarchy thingy. Okay. Lovely. We have friends. You will get Juno in that. Accept the compliment in silence. You're not saying anything. Agathon looks relieved. Yeah, I don't want to talk about I think Agathon doesn't want Juno to be deaf, so I'm just gonna don't say anything about Juno. The other one seem a little bit too direct, too, arrogant. You leave the bookstore with praise ringing in your ears. Even the taciturn Agathon manages a smile. You have no idea what will happen with the notes, but you feel that you have reached understanding with Agathon. Perhaps that's enough in this word of backstabbing and betrayal that you now inhabit. So we are friends now? Agathon, are we friends now? Okay, okay, I think we are good. So, okay, I'm strongly believe we finish Burn After Reading. Yes, I'm quite confident we finish it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end the episode right now, right here. I hope you enjoyed the ending chapter of the questline of Agathon. We're probably gonna explore what the hell is tailing us. And maybe... I don't know. Kinda wanna check Hope. Maybe the Angel at the end. But I don't believe we can do much. It's a shame we failed that one. Kinda interesting. She got so angry at me. Anyway, a lovely day and a lovely evening. A lovely...